It's Wednesday, and it's another episode of the Soccer Bowl. Alex
And
is here
Andy,
with Andy to give you the latest of soccer. So if you missed us, don't worry, we're still here. We just needed some time to catch up on the latest. And there's been a lot that happened for the past week since we recorded our last podcast, and me and Andy are here to tell you everything about it. How you been, Andy? What's going on in your soccer life? What's
well,
new?
I am very, very well. It's been a absolutely crazy weekend, especially if you do bets, guys. I mean, it was lots of surprises. So some of the teams they definitely killed some of my nerves this weekend, but I'm still alive. I'm still calm, and I'm here with you guys to keep you up with all the new things. And we have a lot of new and interesting things to talk about today. So I think after we listen the intro, we can start our podcast.
Yeah, sure, definitely. We'll be right back with you guys.
Welcome to the Soccer Bowl, the show where we put the grass and bowl back in the beautiful game. With your host, stoner extraordinaire, Alexandru. We don't just talk about what happens in world soccer, we smoke weed while we do it. So fill up that bowl or roll up a fat one and let's discuss soccer.
Okay, everybody, we're back. And we would like to start off this episode with some news from the beautiful world of soccer. I read the news for the past days, try to pick some interesting headlines that you guys might enjoy. And hopefully you will enjoy it too, Andy. I don't know how many of these things you know about, but I'm gonna ask your opinion on some of them.
Sure, the
So I'm
more
gonna
the
start
hell.
with the first one, since the transfer window is very close, and all the teams are trying to strengthen their weaknesses, uh, especially the ones that fight for something, either winning trophies or avoiding relegation. And there's teams who sell, like Manchester United, who it's rumored that have set a price for Mkhitaryan. He's for sale for around 35 million, and there's already teams interested in buying him. I know Inter Milano is one of those teams. And it's a strange decision because Mkhitaryan has the highest number of assists this season, 5. All of those in 1 month. He hasn't assisted once since August, but he still has the most assists in the Manchester United squad. And I don't know. He hasn't played in the last of United's games. Today, Manchester plays in the Carabao Cup. Mourinho said he might feature in this game, but I don't know. What do you think? Is Manchester United strong enough to let a player like Mkhitaryan go?
Well, I heard about this rumor, and I know that there are two clubs ready with an offer already. So you told me one, I know there is another one ready to take him.
Which is?
Besiktas.
Oh.
So um, I don't know if he will fit the style of Besiktas.
But what do you think? Do
I
you think Manchester can afford to lose a player like Mkhitaryan? And it's only 35 million. I mean,
Yeah, I think uh, I don't know. Don't ask me. I, if you ask me about Mkhitaryan, I think Premier League is a too big hat for him. To be honest,
oh really?
yeah,
I
I didn't see him, like being one of the greatest players on United or something. Well, I agree he had some assists, but Manchester United probably they are already prepared to replace him with a better player. So
Oh, I'm sure of
um,
that. I'm sure they're trying to make room for Bale or other
and
names rumored that I heard that might join United.
I think if you ask me, I think it's the right call, and I think it's time to let him go now when he still values something.
Yeah, because he's 29, I think, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Okay, another headline that I saw: Chelsea are willing to extend Christensen's contract, the Dan centre back, due to his impressive performance this season, and they're willing to let David Luiz go. David Luiz on his second spell at Chelsea. I don't know, when did they bring David Luiz back? A year ago?
I think so, yes. He was on PSG, no?
Yeah. So he left from Chelsea to PSG, then he came back, and now he's going to be going out again. So,
Well, probably it's not. I don't know, Conte don't like him. You know, Conte, he always liked the Italian defenders.
any
And,
you think he's going to put his hands on any Italian defenders? Are there any good Italian defenders out for sale? Because I'm pretty
Not
sure the
really.
ones that Juventus has, because those are the best ones, are not for
Juventus
sale.
yeah, but now if you look at the first team on Juventus now, the only Italian defender is
Chiellini.
Chiellini. Yeah, because Juventus is playing with Asamoah or Alexandro on the left.
Oh, so they're playing with full wing backs.
Yeah, they play with Benatia. Is replacing Bonucci. And on the right-hand side is, well, it's De Ceglie, which is Italian as well, but
De
they just
Ceglie.
bought him, so I don't see any chance to let him go already.
Okay,
So,
so I've watched Chelsea's last 3 or 4 games, and I can say that Christensen is really good. He's only 23, I think, or he might be only 21, but he's around there, 21, 23, and he's really good. I mean,
there is a lot of potential for that guy, and he's still young. So,
yeah, but he's a different kind of player from David Luiz, because David Luiz is the player that he makes a lot of defensive mistakes, like Sergio Ramos in a way, but he's also the player that can score goals
See.
from outside of the box. You know, he has a really
like
powerful.
like-
Go ahead.
shot. No, sorry. I was going to say is that he's exactly like all the Brazilian defenders. They can score anytime, they can play in attack anytime, but they make big mistakes in the defensive.
My theory is that Brazilian players only become defenders only if they're good, but not good enough to be the best in midfield or attack in the big European teams in the world. So they just say, okay, I'm gonna be a defender, but they still love to go up front and try and score goals. And David Luiz is a good example of that. Okay, we're moving on. Chelsea and Tottenham are very interested in signing Wilfried Zaha, the former Manchester United attacker, currently at Crystal Palace. What do you think about that? Have you seen Zaha's performances this year? I've seen a few of his games. I've seen their last game against, who did they play against? Crystal Palace. They won.
Oh, Leicester.
Oh, against Leicester. Yeah, they won 3-0. And Zaha played really well.
Yeah, but you see, if you ask me, I mean, where would you play him on Tottenham, to be honest? You have Harry Kane, you have... Where would you play with Zaha?
Well,
I think if you ask me, he'll have a better chance to play on the first team on Chelsea than Spurs.
at Chelsea, yeah, he might play where who plays over there on the left side? Is it Moses? Victor Moses?
Willian?
No, Victor Moses plays on the right side. Yeah, it's Willian. Let me just put my phone on silent. Sorry about that.
It's fine, no worries.
So, but do you think he's good enough? Because, Manchester United bought him. He was really young, so you can really have a lot of expectations from a player that's young. And I don't think he got his fair chances. Probably, it was Alex Ferguson who bought him, so I don't know if he was too impressed or too happy, because he didn't really get many chances at United. And he always seemed as an interesting player. But I think he's more mature now. He's spent, 4 years at Crystal Palace already? 3-4 years? And I don't know. He might be ready for a move to one of the big teams. He's 27 right now, so he's in peak.
Yeah, well, they took him back, just to let you inform you, Crystal Palace bought him because he was playing before Man United there for 4 years.
Is that where they bought him from?
Yes. So they bought him from Man United, from Crystal Palace. He was playing a year, only a few games for United, and he was out on loan to Cardiff City,
Yep.
and back to United. Then he went back home to Crystal Palace.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
It's
it's not
hard
great,
for
yeah.
it's hard for a player like him to adapt, especially when he's that young, at a team like Manchester United had when this happened. What was it? It was 2011 something when they bought him. So you still had players like Giggs and Scholes play, Carrick,
No,
Rooney.
First, they bought him in 2013.
Was it
It was
13?
13 to 14. That was the first season in Man United for him.
But wait, that can't be because I know Alex Ferguson bought him, and I don't think Ferguson. When did Ferguson leave the team? In 2012.
Only if he was a pre-contract. I don't have too many information, but regarding to the website I have here, it says he transferred to Man United on 2013-2014 season.
Oh, then that might be right. So, okay, moving on. Manchester City are looking to extend Pep Guardiola's contract for a longer period, even though he's never stayed more than 4 years at a club. What do you think?
Surprised? I'm not surprised.
Well, I'm not surprised either, but I'm surprised if Guardiola will sign, because he doesn't like to sign contracts for many years. He usually extends year to year.
Yes, because he's always looking for a new challenges, and once his job will be done in Man City and he will want the Premier League, and probably if he can achieve the Champions League, he will think his job is done there and he will look for a new challenge somewhere else. I think, but I don't know. But this is the way I saw Guardiola. That young guy who wants to prove to every single team he's going. So
Well, he's not that young anymore.
well,
Yeah, he is young for a manager still, but it feels like he's been managing forever, man.
he's not young. Look at Big Sam. Look at what's the name of the Bayern Munich?
Speaking of Big Sam, he's the next thing I wanted to talk about. It seems like he would like a reunion with Christian Benteke, who Everton are planning on bringing back in January as a replacement for Lukaku, because Allardyce doesn't think good enough players have been brought in to replace Lukaku, even though if you look at Rooney's numbers, they're the same as Lukaku's numbers at Manchester United this season. So,
yeah. But Rooney is not playing in attack. He's playing behind the attacker.
Yep.
Always. So it's like more like a playmaker or like a central attack midfielder. And Sam Allardyce is looking for a person to be in the front there.
Yep.
Because
he needs somebody to sit in the box and just be at the end of the crosses.
Yeah, because right now he have two choices. And Calvert-Lewin, he's not ready to be there. He's a very good young prospect.
Yeah, he just scored after, 8 months or something like that?
Yeah, but that goal was a joke.
Rooney missed a penalty and he put it in. Still, man, it was good. It was good focus from him, because he was the first one to be there.
Yeah,
Swansea's defenders were still sleeping.
Well, there is Sandro Ramirez as well, which is a good player. He played for Barcelona, then Malaga, then he came to Everton. He didn't have too many chances, but every time when he was playing, he missed a lot, man. He missed a lot. What game was? I think it was the game with Lyon. Was only him and the goalkeeper, and he missed in 5 meters.
So you think there's room for Benteke at Everton, or there's another name that people are speculating, and that's Nzonzi from Sevilla?
That would be a great player, man. It's twice better than Benteke, if you ask me.
So if you would have to choose between Benteke and Nzonzi, your choice would be Nzonzi.
Obviously, and as an Everton fan, I wouldn't like Benteke to come to Everton, and I think everyone will agree with me. No one wants an ex-Liverpool player to come to Everton. It's done. He sold his soul to the rival. He can't play it.
Well, you can say the same thing about supporters, man. There was a time when you were more of a Liverpool fan than an Everton fan, and now you're more of an Everton fan. So you already sold your soul to Liverpool once, but now
Well, but I didn't support them properly. I mean,
you
I
fancied. You
yeah, I
fancied.
fancied them.
This is the one British word that I like to use a lot. Fancy. I fancy.
Yes, I felt. And I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. They have the money to spend, and believe me, Everton, they can afford a very good attacker. They can afford Zonzi or Benteke, but Benteke the last 2-3 seasons, he was shy, man. Shy. He didn't play nothing for Liverpool, nothing for Crystal Palace. So
Yeah, it seems as when they brought him to Liverpool, he stopped scoring and he couldn't find his form ever since. He just scored. Who did he score against? Was it this game against the last game?
probably Leicester, probably.
Against Leicester. Yeah, well, it was his first goal after the previous week. He took the ball to take a penalty that he wasn't supposed to, and he missed it.
Let me give you a rumor.
Go ahead.
Arsenal might be ready to leave Arsenal go.
Really?
Yes.
When? How? What's the source of this?
It's here in the UK, and today was the first time when I saw this rumor, and they consider, this is how they use the word, they consider leaving Arsene Wenger go, and they want to replace him with Mikel Arteta.
Really?
Yes, because
Arteta is Guardiola's
yes,
second
but,
coach, right? At Manchester
assistant.
City.
Yes, but everyone knows Arteta was playing lots of, I don't know how many, but lots of years for Arsenal, and he denied a few offers, and the officials from the Arsenal, they think he might be ready to take Arsenal now.
That would be interesting. I don't know if he would be the right coach, because honestly, man, it's gonna be really hard for Arsenal for a few years. I think it's gonna be even harder than for Manchester United after they were done with Ferguson, because I think that when you have a coach and a manager for so many years, starting over suddenly with somebody new after so many years, it's going to be hard for everybody, man. Even the cleaning lady is going to feel the difference.
I disagree, because depends who's coming to change the new coach. I mean, on Manchester, obviously, was the wrong person coming to replace Sir Alex Ferguson. So
David Moyes does not agree. Just look what he's done in his last 3 games for West Ham.
Well, it happens. Let's see to the past.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so go ahead.
You know, I don't miss a chance to say something about the game.
Let's finish off with the news. I have 2 more news that involve Manchester United, because that's my favorite club.
And I have one more as well.
Yep, Manchester United are eyeing £26 million January move for Bordeaux's Brazilian sensation Malcolm. Have you seen the goals that Malcolm scored lately?
No, not to be honest, no.
I honestly know nothing about Malcolm besides those goals that he scored in the past 2 or 3 weeks. So I don't know. Bordeaux are not the best team in France, so I don't know how good of a player he can be. But considering that we need numbers, we need depth in the team. Depth. I don't know how to say that word. We need players, because we have so many injuries every single year, and we have so many games that we always seem to be short of players on certain positions, and we always end up using players that are not supposed to play in those positions. And the last one, Louis van Gaal, and I will quote what Louis van Gaal said. Recently in an interview, Louis van Gaal, who is the former coach of Manchester United, the coach that Mourinho replaced, said that, and I quote, "I probably won't manage another club, unless it's a big English club. In that case, I would like to get one over Manchester United." And it seems like Louis is still a little bit bitter. We all know that he had some issues with Ed Woodward when he left, and he claimed that he wasn't let to finish his job. But honestly, as a Manchester United fan, I'm glad to see him go, and I'm happy that we have Mourinho instead. Even though Mourinho is not my favorite person in the world or my favorite coach, I still think we're in a way better direction and in a better position with him. And, there was always uncertainty when Van Gaal was a coach. You never knew what was going to happen. With Mourinho, sometimes you lose stupid points against teams you shouldn't, but usually, he does his job.
He's a good coach. If you put them all together, he's a good coach.
And that's everything that I had to say about the news.
Well, I have one more news, and I really hope it's a lie, because it's regarding my favorite team, Juventus Torino, and it says that Dybala is still, and you saw he didn't play in the last games.
Yep.
On the last game, he played like 14 minutes or 15 minutes, because he's still a not good relationship with his mates and his coach, his manager. And PSG, because they have lots of money, they are trying to speculate this, and they're trying to get him to PSG.
Man, you have Cavani, you have Neymar, you have Mbappe, you have Draxler, Di Maria, you have so many Pastore, you have so many good attacking players. Why do you want to bring another one?
Because you have to replace Neymar.
Yeah, Neymar will probably go to Real Madrid. I agree with that too.
He's unhappy. He said he's not happy in Paris. Even he have results, it's not his life. He can't adapt to the French life. He wants to go back to Spain.
Neymar is a pussy, and I said everything with that. Okay, so let's finish. Let's end with the news, and shall we move to the games that we talked about in last podcast? Let's see what happened and see if we can draw any conclusions of.
Conclusion is I was wrong again. Tottenham couldn't stop Man City.
Everybody was wrong, man. And now Manchester City have managed to beat all the teams from the top 6 before Christmas, which is fucking insane.
Yes, it's I don't know. They played really, really well, and no one can contest or can say they don't deserve to be where they are now, because they played amazing.
Look at me, the true Manchester United fan. I hate City with all my soul, and there's nothing you can say, man. If you're a normal person and you're a logical person and you're a honest, fair person, you have to say it. They're too good, They
was
beat
only
everybody.
one, except one team.
Shakhtar.
No.
Yeah, they drew against who?
Everton.
Yeah, that was in the beginning of the.
Yeah, probably that was the reason.
That was the reason. Yeah.
So definitely a great winning for City with Tottenham. Not too many things to add about this game. I mean,
it was 4-1.
4-1.
4-0. Tottenham scored last with Eriksen in the end of the game. But Manchester City stomped Tottenham. And honestly, I was very disappointed because they were my last hope that somebody's going to...
Well, I think if you ask me, I think it was a tactic mistake, because you can't go and play away with a team like City with 3 defenders. I don't know what Pochettino thought or what he was thinking in that moment, but...
He wanted to prove that he can fight Manchester City off the same level, but that's not how you win games, especially when... Just look at the squads, and the form. Tottenham has a great squad. They have good players, but they don't have Manchester City players. And their form is not Manchester City form.
Correct. So, a great win, 4-1. Nothing else to add about this game. City first place. There is a bet that is the most popular bet here in the England, that City to don't lose any games in the end of season and to achieve more than 100 points. You have a very good odd. So
remember, we were talking about this like 2-3 episodes ago when I asked you, do you think that there's any chance that City is going to lose any points this season, or you think they're going to go unbeatable?
No, I still think they're going to lose at least a game.
Probably. I do. I think that too. I don't think it's going to happen against teams from the Big Six. I think it's going to be against Huddersfield or Bournemouth or...
Be honest. If there are like 5 games left and they have like 25 points ahead, they will play with the second team. They're gonna lose the game, definitely.
Yeah, and it depends how their
They-
Champions League progress is gonna be.
They're gonna relax. They're gonna focus on Champions League. So
There's gonna
I
be
think-
coaches from the national team calling Guardiola to, hey, boss, you won the
Yeah.
Premier League already. You're good. Just let them rest for the World Cup.
Yeah. Moving on, another game that I was disappointed was Torino-Napoli. I thought Torino, being in a good form, they'll get at least a point from this game.
And he was far away from that.
It was 3-1 for Napoli. Napoli, they play very good as always in this. I mean, meaning refer to this season,
Mhm.
and they deserve to win. No one contests that. It's a big fight there in Italy because now all three teams, Inter, Juve, and Napoli, they are only 1 point.
What about
behind.
Roma?
Roma is like 4 points behind, 4 or 5 points behind.
Oh, even
So-
though they won against Crotone, because it was less than that.
No, even they're still 4 points behind.
Oh, okay.
So
I will check there. Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
so very good game. If you look at the stats, the possession was 50-50, but still, Napoli won the game. Zielinski scored Hamšík and Koulibaly. So Mihajlovic didn't make his homework, and he was loose.
Well, I'm checking the table right now, and you were right. Roma is 4 points behind first place Napoli, but they're only 2 points behind Inter, which is third. So,
Oh yeah, yes. And
so Roma is in the title over there.
it's in cards. Yes, it's in cards.
Yep. So it's a very interesting season in Serie A.
Italy. Well, even me being a Juventus fan, I missed that, to be honest. So
The interesting seasons.
yes, I missed some season for
Well,
more than one team to fight for the title because Juve was always leading the table with lots of points ahead. So
for us, it's
This-
even more pleasurable because we remember the days when Serie A used to be the strongest league in Europe. You remember those days?
of course.
Jesus Christ! It feels like it's been forever since then. But how many titles do Juventus have now in a row? Is it 6?
6 titles in a row.
Jesus Christ! And before that, Inter had like what, 4 or 5?
Yes. So it was a swap between Juventus and Inter. you
Yeah,
see.
and I think AC Milan won one title in between when Zlatan was playing over there.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think they won a league right when Inter started having problems.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Moving on,
What other
we're
games?
going to another game in Italy, which was a game which I told you will be tough. You told me you are surprised. It was Atalanta Lazio. I don't know if you
Christ,
watched
what a
the
crazy
game or the
game.
highlight. It was an incredible game. Atalanta lead with 2-0. Was 2-2, 3-2 for Atalanta,
Yeah.
and 3-3 in the
Britain
end.
in the end.
Very nice game. Very nice supporters from Atalanta.
You have a
Ili-
crush on Atalanta.
Sorry?
You have a crush on Atalanta supporters.
Yeah, that's true. Ilic, he made a great game, scoring 2 goals. I mean, one from the penalty kick, but he played excellent. And the second goal in the game, and his first goal was a lovely goal. It was a pass, and he hit the ball. He then left the ball to touch the ground. He hit the ball and was
Like a volley.
a volley. And they've been both playing in the same system, 3-5-2. It seems that Conte teach all the managers in Italy something new.
I saw this system being used more and more everywhere, not just Serie A. Even when I play at manager, I use 3-5-2.
Yeah, it's
I
Yeah,
like
because
it.
you can transform that system very easy to a different system. From 3-5-2, you can go to 5-2-2-1, or you can go to a 4-3-2-1, or depends on what players they have, but you can
Yeah,
easily change the
if you
system.
have
You can,
strong wingers, they can do both defense and attack, and then you always have two extra players in attack or in midfield or in defense. So I think it's a great system for teams who have strong, powerful players, athletes.
yes, true. And what can I say? Lazio and Atalanta, both teams fighting for Europe. Fifth place, seventh place. So will be an interesting fight till the end of the championship.
Well, we're halfway there, so
Yeah,
Serie A goes on break right now, right? They're gonna be on break until after New Year's.
they are on break already. Yes.
Okay, doc. So we're not gonna have Serie A for a while.
Then no, but
It's okay.
thanks,
We have some
thanks
other
God,
stuff.
we have some others. So we're gonna
Okay.
miss them. But
What was
another,
the next?
that, the next game was Olympique Lyon, Olympique Marseille.
Nice game. Olympique Lyon 1-0. The derby.
1-0. Of course, Fekir, the best players from Lyon, scores again.
Memphis misses a
Memphis
big opportunity. I don't
will
know
be
how he
hard.
missed that. That was very Manchester United like when he was playing for Manchester United. That's how he used to miss when he was playing for United.
I know. So, well, this is Memphis. He can score beautiful goals, and he can make these misses. Then he can have these fails that no one expects. So, in the end, deserved win for Olympique Lyon. Olympique Lyon is going on the same points with Monaco, and they're still 9 points behind PSG.
Yeah, PSG ran away with it for a little bit.
But
Hopefully, the other teams can come from behind and try and.
well, I miss Olympique Lyon in Champions League, so
I do too, and not just them. I miss Olympique Marseille too, and the way the French league looks right now with PSG, Monaco, Lyon, and Marseille, this is how it should be. And if you have Bordeaux following them, and then Nantes.
Bordeaux is on Nantes is on the 5th place, but Bordeaux is on the 15th. So
Yeah, Bordeaux is on 15. No, I'm just saying like that would be the perfect scenario of what my image if the French La Liga is, who should play where.
Yes. So that was the game we choose in France. Was another game which I thought would be a tough game, but the result told me was not a tough game at all. It was between Bruges and Anderlecht in Belgian league.
Oh yeah, Bruges destroyed Anderlecht. It was a 5-0.
5-0.
I don't think anybody expected that, man. That's one of those things that you're not ready for. Just like Real Madrid Sevilla, 5-0. You expect a close, nice game, and then 90 minutes later, you're like, "What the fuck just happened, man? It's 5-0." Did the other play even? Was the other team even on the field?
Our connationals, Kipchiu and Stanchu, not even substitutes.
I'm not surprised. And it suits them. If you don't use them, not even on the bench, and you lose 5-0, fuck you. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, I'm happy because that proves you're a very wrong coach. You're a bad, weak, and poor coach. So
yeah, and it's not the players that are necessarily the problem.
It's not the players. I mean, I know they're not the greatest player, but I'm pretty sure
they can play in a team that loses 5-0 to
yes, and I think Kipchiu could play better than Jerkins, which is playing on his position.
I honestly am not a big.
No, but this Jerkins is 22 and always young, but he's coming from St. Truden. At least Kipchiu, he was playing in Champions League, in Europe League. He has some experience.
Bucharest, the national team, yeah.
Yeah, not St. Truden, which was.
Are they still in the first league in Belgium?
They are in the first league, but
they're always over there fighting for avoiding relegation.
Yes.
Okay, let's move to a more to a stronger league. Do we have any other games, or that was it?
That was it for last week.
Nothing in Spain? How did that happen?
There was nothing interesting in Spain. I mean, Was good games, but not tough games.
Okay.
So we
I
skip.
guess then we can move on.
We can move
Just
on to the.
before we move on, I just want to ask you, what do you think? What do you think of West Ham? Because the last 3 games they played against what? Chelsea. They played against Arsenal. Sorry, and who did they play against the last week?
Stoke.
Was it Stoke?
Stoke City, yes.
Yeah, and they won 3-0 away. Then before that, they drew 0-0 against Arsenal.
If you look at the team, I'm not surprised. West Ham have great players, really, really good players. The only thing they missed was a coach. Now they have Moyes. He seems that he's start doing a good job there.
He wasn't a bad coach for Everton. I remember when Moyes was there. He wasn't great, but you know, Everton was doing better than they're doing right now. Like in tables, I mean, they were always 5, 6.
No. Moyes was doing great on Everton. He was doing bad after he left Everton. He didn't improve because he went to Man United when the expectation was really high, and he didn't prove that he deserved to be there. Then he moved in Spain to Real Sociedad. Then he took Sunderland, which was already with
one foot in the championship. Yeah.
So
it seems like he makes bad decisions when it comes to picking clubs to coach. Ever since he accepted Manchester, in a way, I understand why he accepted Manchester United, man. When Alex Ferguson comes to you and asks you and tells you that, you know, if that's how it happened, that's how they say it happened, and tell you that I think you're the one who's gonna be the next coach of the Manchester United team, then you say yes.
Yeah.
But after that, you go to Real Sociedad. Why?
Well, he have great players now, seriously. So he can prove
definitely.
Now. Only if you look in the attack, he have Arnautovic, Andy Carroll,
Chicharito,
Hernandez, Ayev. He have excellent player. Then you have Zabaleta.
Yeah, former Manchester City player.
Yes, you have Koyate.
Joe Hart in goal.
He's not. Last game was Adrian.
Yeah, Adrian was. But I think he's gonna be in the Carabao Cup today. I think he's announced to start.
Cool.
Joe Hart.
Probably he'll start. He's still a good goalkeeper. And you have Ogbo now as well.
The way they play now, do you think they have any chance for the UEFA Cup spots?
No.
You think they'll lose track once they get a few good results?
No, I think they'll be in the first 10 teams, first 9 teams, but it's a big fight there, Alex. Look, look at the teams. You have Man City, Manchester United, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal. You have Tottenham. Then you have Burnley, which is a great surprise.
Burnley's having an amazing season. Yeah, he sits on 6th right now. 1 point more than Tottenham. And Leicester came in strong after Claude Puel, even though they lost their last game. Everton
and Watford
coming back strong.
Watford is having a pretty good season, and they're going to hire a new coach in January.
Crystal Palace showed improvement lately.
So, yes, I will see West Ham going up, but I can't see them playing in Europe League. In Europe, anywhere in Europe.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's hard, man, because there's a big fight over there. But there's no way that English teams can win the UEFA Cup, right? There's no other. Is there any English teams left in the UEFA?
I think Arsenal.
Oh yeah. So Arsenal might focus on the Europa League, just so they can get a Champions League spot for sure next year, the same way United did last year. Because I don't know if they're gonna be able to maintain, to keep themselves in this race. So that might free up a spot for another team from the Premier League that might play in the Europa League. So that would make it let's say Arsenal wins the Europa League, then the first 5 teams in the
6
league,
teams.
is it 6?
Yeah, well, because if
No, I
Arsenal
wanted
would
to say 5 teams go to Champions League,
yes,
and then the 6th and the 7th and the 8th.
yeah, but you have there Burnley. Let's say Burnley not gonna be there, but you still have. If you look now, it's Tottenham, Leicester,
Tottenham,
Everton.
Leicester, Everton. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be an extra spot for the English team. So
I don't think Arsenal will win the Europe League.
let's see if they lose Sanchez, Ozil in January, or if they lose Arsene. We don't know.
Yes. Don't forget, in the Europe League, it's Atletico Madrid, which they always focus on winning the cup.
Oh, I am very aware of that, and I'm expecting a strong fight to win the title this year. Honestly, the Europa League, it's like a mini Champions League. They always wanted to make it like a mini Champions League, but it seems that every year for the past 3 or 4 years, it gets stronger and stronger.
It is. Don't forget you have Napoli in Europe League. Don't forget you have Leipzig. Don't forget you have Sporting Lisbon there. Mm-hmm. Borussia Dortmund. It's
gonna be a competitive.
Yeah, don't forget you have Steaua Bucharest there.
And especially when the big prize is a spot in the Champions League.
Yes.
If you're one of those teams that are having a bad internal season, but you have enough value that you can get that trophy and you want to play in the Champions League next year, who everybody does, I think you're going to fight for that title. So that makes it even more intense and more interesting.
True.
Okay, so now I know your opinion about West Ham. Where should we go from here? What's next?
We should go to our picks for this weekend.
Ooh, let me know.
Well, and because we've been talking about Arsenal, I think we should start with one of the most interesting game, which is Arsenal-Liverpool.
Which is on Friday for some reason.
So everyone knows Liverpool is crap home because they don't know how to open a defensive. If a team is coming to defend, Liverpool, they're never going to win. But every time they play away, they are playing excellent because those teams, so they play home and they try to get some points. They have to open.
Just to give you an interesting stat, Liverpool have scored at least 3 goals in their last 4 away matches in the Premier League.
Well, we'll see if it's happened with Arsenal as well. But
on the other side, Arsenal have kept a clean sheet in 6 of their last home matches in the Premier League. So you have the absolutes here.
I think it will be a very interesting game with lots of goals.
The last game between these two teams, it was a 4-0 for Liverpool at Anfield Road.
That was in August, but
yep. Then before that, you had a victory 3-1 Liverpool, and then before that was another victory for Liverpool away at Arsenal, a 4-3 for Liverpool. So I'm looking in the past 6 games, with the exception of one game in 2015 in August, which was 0-0 at Arsenal at home. All the games had over 4 goals, sorry.
Yes.
Which is crazy. So we should expect a goal festival.
A goal festival, at least 2 goals.
And what's going to make it even more interesting, it's the positions in the table of these teams. They're only 1 point away. Liverpool has 1 point above Arsenal. And, they're going to try and go past them.
Well, we'll see. They have the special 4, or how the guys name those?
The Fab 4.
Fab 4. So
with Mohamed Salah, did you see that he's the first player of Liverpool to score 20 goals before Christmas since I forgot the name. No, that was in a competitive year, but before Christmas, it was somebody who played in the 60s or 70s for Liverpool. I don't remember the name.
David Flower. I don't know.
No, that was Robbie Fowler, but he played in the
Robbie Fowler.
90s.
90s, 80s, yeah. No, I don't know.
I forgot the
So-
name, but it doesn't matter. The thing is, Mohamed Salah is already making history at Liverpool, which is crazy, man. I don't
He's
think
great.
I don't even think they expected him to be this good when they bought him.
And I don't think they'll keep him too long. If he's playing like that, I don't know. Even if we have money, you see, Liverpool can afford to keep any players.
Yeah, because
have a
it comes to the player's decision if they want to stay or not.
See, it happened like with Coutinho. You can offer him anything he wants. If he don't want to stay, he don't want to stay.
Yep. And you don't
I'm
want a
pretty sure-
player who doesn't want to be there because he's not going to play at the same level. Then you won't be able to sell him for as much money. So
It's true. So
you're looking at this game. You're looking at a lot of goals. Am I correct?
this is what I think. I think it will be an open game, lots of goals, and I think Salah will score again.
It's another interesting stat is that Arsenal have won 13 of their last 14 home matches in the Premier League. So Arsenal, a very strong team at home, but as we've seen from the past results, when it's a derby, it doesn't matter how many wins you have at home, you know, because we saw what happened in the last 6 games between these two teams. Liverpool came out on top most of the times, but there were a lot of goals. So I think it's going to be a very open game, and I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool managed to win, honestly.
Sorry, I don't know what noise is coming from outside. I thought it's like a bike, but it seems that it's something else.
It's a jackhammer, of course.
Is it?
I think so. That's what it sounded like.
No, because I had the headphones and I couldn't hear it first, and I would just heard something. I was just trying to see, did I hear something? Or okay, so sorry for that. Yes, guys, great game, but I think we have another great game in Premier League this weekend, which is Everton-Chelsea.
Yeah, I agree. Ever since I know you're a fan of Everton, I started following the team more, and slowly but surely I'm starting to like them more. And now I'm like a mini supporter, not a fan, but a supporter of Everton.
This is what I am too, a supporter.
So what do you think? What do you think about this game?
I think will be not a interesting game as Arsenal-Liverpool. You know, I mean, meaning of the goals. There are not going to be so many goals. Not a goals festival. But I think it will be a tough game, and I think it will be a draw.
I'm looking at the Everton haven't won any of the last 4 games against Chelsea. They won 1 game in 6 and they drew 1 in 6 against Chelsea. I don't know what to say, man. Even though Everton is in good form and they're way better defensively since Sam Allardyce came at the...
This is what I was going to say. You know that Big Sam knows how to park the coach in front of the gates.
Oh, definitely.
So that's why I'm saying, let's say if you don't want to put a draw, I think will be a match with less than 2.5 goals.
I'm looking at some stats, and I don't know what to say about that because the last 4 games it was a 2-1, 2-0, 3-0, and a 5-0, all victories for Chelsea. And I'm seeing here that Everton have scored at least 2 goals in their last 5 home matches in the Premier League. So Everton are scoring. Chelsea have a history of scoring against Everton. So I don't know, man. My opinion is I think it's gonna be over 2.5. I think we're gonna have maybe, I don't know, not 3-1, but a 2-1, 2-2 maybe. And if Chelsea get a very good day and Everton not, maybe even a 3-1 for Chelsea.
Big Sam and Antonio Conte, they meet only once in the history, which was this year in April, and Crystal Palace beat Chelsea home.
What was the score?
2-1 for Crystal Palace.
So I'm not saying never. Like I said, I'm expecting a 2-1, 2-2. So somewhere around that, I would be happy if Everton would win.
Would be tough. Would be hard to win,
But
but
yeah, you have to be
at least
realistic in these situations.
at least a draw would be great.
Okay, doke.
Yeah.
Any other
Moving
Premier
on.
Leagues? Any other Premier League games? I would say Leicester, Manchester United, but I don't.
Don't say anything about Leicester because they are crap, man. They play well, and the last
They
game, last
it's
game
a very unstable team. Like they have a run of a few good games, and then they play at home and they lose 3-0.
that game seriously looked like the fixed game.
I watched the game and I was like, man, what
I'm not
is?
saying, and I will never say a game was fixed because I don't know, I don't have proofs, and I want to believe that that thing doesn't exist at this level.
But sometimes when you look at certain games, you're like, man, are these guys for real?
Seriously was, and okay, 1-0. Well, it happens. Everyone have bad days. 2-0. Well, it's a big loss, but 3-0. Come on, it's was I don't know. Was really hard to digest that for.
Oh, definitely.
So I think the Foxes there was no Foxes happy about that result.
Okay. So
Okay.
let's move on from the Premier League. Where do you want to go? What's the next point on the map?
Let's go on Italy for Juventus AC Roma.
Which is a game we're gonna have on Saturday. Juventus plays at home. Roma have won 16 of their last 20 matches in the Serie A. Juventus are undefeated in 37 of their last 38 home matches in Serie A. And Juventus have kept a clean sheet in their last 4 matches in the Serie A. So Juventus, one of the best teams at home in the world, period.
It is true.
They're becoming stronger defensively after a poor start of the season. They haven't conceded any goals in the past 4 games. But Roma is a team that also plays good. Sometimes they give you some hard times, like the last game against Cagliari, where I bet on their victory and they missed a penalty, and then I had to wait till the 97th minute for them to score.
Which was a lucky goal.
Yeah, but still, they've won 16 in their last 20, so that's not bad, Roma sits on 4th, Juve sits on 2nd. It's 3 points between these two teams, and in their past in their past 6 games, Juventus won 50% of them, drew 17, and Roma won 33%, which is 2 games out of 6. Juventus won 3 out of 6, and they drew once. So, you as a Juventus fan, what do you think? Is Juventus going back on first place? At least for a while?
I think they're going to win this game. I think Juventus is in a good form, and they have so many good players, and they should win this game. Even if Roma is a top team and it's with very good players. If you look at Juve, man, look at the midfielders. Yes, probably they're not the best defenders now, but they're still great defenders.
Yeah, and I just told everybody their record at home, which will be a big part of this.
I don't know if you watched the highlights with Bologna. Man, did you see Pjanic goal?
No, I haven't. I honestly haven't watched those.
That Pjanic it's a gem. It's perfect in the middle. I think any team would like to have him.
I know Manchester United.
They've been looking, but
but it's hard to get players from Juventus.
It's very hard. Then you play with Pjanic and Khedira on closing, and you have Douglas Costa on the right hand side, and you can play with Mandzukic. They learned him to play as a left wing, so.
Oh, speaking of Juventus, I heard they might be interested in getting Emre Can from Liverpool, whose contract runs out.
Unfortunately, yes.
I like Emre Can. I think he's a good
player.
Well,
Emre Can, it's already with the step on Juventus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he refused to extend his contract, and he really wants to go to Juve.
He's good friends with Sami Khedira, probably. They're both Turkish Germans.
Yeah, but he had to know that when he was going to Juve, he had to fight a lot for the position in the first team because look at the midfielders: Pjanic, Khedira, Cuadrado, Marquisio, Douglas Costa, Matuidi, Piaka, Asamoah, Sturaro, Bentancur.
Yeah,
Where would you put him?
it's a team field with there's a bunch of great midfielders at Juventus. Maybe you don't know. Maybe they're gonna want to let somebody go. I don't know. You see, Allegri is a very weird coach, and he gets in fights with players, and
he'd take revenge or let him go. Well, no, I think Juve being involved in so many games, in so many competitions, they want to have a strong bench. They want to have lots of players because I don't know if you notice, Allegri is always rotating the team.
And that's something that happens. That I've been thinking about this, and I saw it happen in all the big teams, especially the big teams. But because I remember days when you would know the first 11 of any good team because it was always the same. The same players played week in, week out. But now you rarely see the same 11 2 games in a row. You always rotate players because there's so many games, so many competitions,
So many.
So you need, now it's not only 11. Now you need at least 16 really, really good players that you need to use all the time.
Even more. So I like these things on Allegri because you see he's playing one game with Buffon, one game with Szczesny. He's playing one game with Sandro on the left, one game with Asamoah on the left. He's playing one game with Cuadrado, one with Douglas Costa. He rotates the teams and he gives chance to everyone to play. One game he's playing Matuidi, one game is Khedira. It's always a move in that team. Even in the defensive line, Chiellini is irreplaceable. But beside him, he's playing with Rogani or Benatia, and Hodges is not fitted yet to play. So. Tough game, and I think Juve will win. They'll beat Roma. They have to beat Roma.
In my head, I picture a 2-0 for Juventus.
Even 1-0 will be good enough, to be honest.
The Italian score.
Because if Juve will manage to score first, they will close the game. They will do the same like they did with Napoli.
Mm-hmm.
You see, you can't afford playing a very offensive game with teams like Napoli, Roma, and Inter, because once they're waiting for a mistake, and that's enough for them. So we'll see. But
where should we go next?
We're going to the El Clasico next. It's the last game, and it's a very important game.
Yep, it's the game that millions of supporters worldwide are waiting for. Not my favorite game, honestly. I am more excited to see a Manchester United Liverpool or a Tottenham Arsenal than Barcelona Real Madrid. I think it's too much publicity for this game.
It is, but now being the difference of 11 points,
that makes it more interesting. That's true.
It makes it more interesting because Real Madrid, they don't have any choice except winning. This game.
If they don't win,
it's done.
Yep, and some stats that I have here for you guys is Barcelona have won 20 of their last 23 matches in La Liga. They've scored at least 2 goals in 21 of their last 23 matches in La Liga, so Barcelona scores a lot. Real Madrid have scored at least 2 goals in 20 of their last 23 home matches. So only a difference of a goal that Barcelona scored more in their last 23 games. And Real Madrid are undefeated in 30 of their last 32 home matches in La Liga. So Real Madrid are playing at home. They haven't lost in 30 games over there. It's going to be a tough game. Real Madrid have won the past 2 games against Barcelona that they played this year. They won 3-1 at Camp Nou in August. And then again, 2-0 victory. I think it was in extra time. At home, this was the Super Spanish Cup or whatever you call it.
Yeah, in the Super Cup.
Yep.
Was the final of the... But it was not in extra time, I think.
Oh, no. It couldn't be extra time, because it was a 5-1.
Yeah.
And then last
Exactly.
season, Real Madrid lost at home against Barcelona 2-3. Real Madrid had a red card, and they drew at Camp Nou 1-1. So I don't know. I see it as a very tight game. I honestly don't know what to say because to me, Barcelona this year is a very strange team. And
Another
Real-
interesting,
Go
sorry,
ahead. Go ahead.
another interesting stat to offer you is that Valverde never beat Zidane. They
As a
meet
coach.
5 times. They meet 5 times, and 5 times Zidane
Zidane
beat
won.
him. It was 3 times with Bilbao and 2 times with Barcelona.
Yeah, but see, Zidane is a very weird coach, man. He has 2 years coaching Real Madrid and he's won everything.
Yeah,
You
they
know,
have a
there's
very-
no other manager that's done that. I've been coaching for 2 years and I won everything there is to win. That's just crazy. So I think this stats of Zidane, I don't know what to say. It's a weird game. This is probably one of the few times that I wouldn't know. Usually you can say, oh, okay, Real Madrid are in way better form, they're going to win. Barcelona are in way better form, they're going to win. But this, Barcelona are
Well-
such a weird team for me. Real Madrid even more because they've been playing like shit this year
You know what?
compared to the past season.
You know what I'm waiting for?
Mm.
I'm waiting for Zidane to prove he's a coach, and I want him to go to Girondin Bordeaux and win the title with them if he's a good coach.
You think that's going to happen?
No, but this is if you want to have
Yeah.
balls and want to prove, go there and show us.
Well, in a way, you know, and now it depends because you don't know what kind of conditions he would have there. But going back to our game, Barcelona sit in first place with 42 points, while Real Madrid are only on fourth with 31 points. So it's a 11-point difference between the two teams. Real Madrid need victory so bad. But I think the winner of this game is going to be Atletico Madrid. I see
No.
these two teams drawing and Atletico Madrid winning. They're going to go further away from Real Madrid and they're going to get closer to Barcelona.
I think Real Madrid will win this game. I think they will beat Barca.
I honestly,
Yeah,
I would like
I-
that to happen. I'm looking at I would like that to happen because again, I don't want any of the leagues having a winner by December, January. So we need a little bit of competition. Do you
Yeah.
expect a lot of goals or?
No, not really. Probably I will expect like 2-1 for Real Madrid.
That's it?
Yes.
I'm thinking of a 2-2. Maybe. I don't know what to say about this game. I'm gonna try and watch it. I don't know what time it is. It's gonna be at 12 Saturday. 12 Eastern time.
12 here. We'll be in the night, so you'll have to be. It'll be like 5 o'clock in the morning for you. 5. No?
No, I think it's gonna be at noon sometimes.
Well, that's very weird to have a El Clasico on this
Clasico.
side.
Well,
12 p.m.
it's not that because if it's at 12 p.m., that means. Well, it's because it's on 23rd of December. I think they want
Oh,
to
probably.
be done with it so people can go home and cook for Christmas or whatever they want to do. What do you think about Valencia Villarreal? You don't think
Oh,
that's
don't
one of
touch
the interesting? You hate Valencia so much now that you don't even want to talk about it.
I
It's
really
still
hope Villarreal.
the
I
third
hope
place
Villarreal.
against sixth place.
Well, Villarreal was in a bad form in the last games, but they won last game away on Celta Vigo. So I really hope they will find their good form and they can take at least a point from Valencia. Because Valencia didn't deserve to be there, so I really hope they'll go there.
It's doable, but it's hard at the same time. Valencia have won 5 of their last 6 home matches in La Liga, and they scored a lot of goals while playing at home. At least 2 goals in 5 of their last 6 home matches, and it's always been over 2.5 goals in Valencia's last 5 home games in La Liga. So I see a 3-1 for Valencia, 3-2 maybe.
Well,
But I see
why not?
Valencia winning this game.
I hope not.
Where do we go next, Andy? What do you
Well,
have in
I
store
think
for
we've
us?
been talking about the most important games of the next week. Do you think it's time for the history lesson?
I do think it's time for the history lesson. Who are you gonna teach us about this
Well,
week?
tonight I want to teach you guys a few things about Juventus Torino.
The team that Andy represents with pride and love. He's even wearing the shirt. And you guys can see some pictures I found of Juventus.
Sure.
Well, Andy tells us some important
So
stuff.
we all know we call the old lady Juventus, and the fans they are named Bianconeri. So the team was founded in 1897. Is the second oldest team in the Italian Championship. The first one was Genoa, and the Juventus was founded by the high school students.
Ooh.
So yes, this is how Juventus starts. And the first top they wear was they played in pink with black ties.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Back then, those crazy motherfuckers were playing with ties, soccer.
The equipment was made by the father of one of the students from the team.
Mm-hmm. Italian
Then,
leather.
Yes.
Good Italian leather.
Obviously, pink. Who else? And I'm not reading. I'm just saying because I know everything. So then one of the guys have a friend in England. So he write his friend and ask him to send them a set of kits for the team. And that guy was living in Nottingham, and his favorite team was Notts Forest. Notts Forest, yes.
Yeah,
Notts County.
Notts County, yeah.
Yes. So that guy bought a full set kit of Notts County and sent it to Juve. So
Which
this
have
is
the
how,
same colors, black and white stripes.
So this is how Juventus ended even in these days to wear black and white.
I love it, man. See, that's so interesting. This is stuff I've never knew and I've never heard about, and I hope you guys enjoy hearing this kind of stuff. This makes soccer even more enjoyable and nice, because when you think about a giant like Juventus, you never think that it has its origins started in a fucking high school. And they wear the colors that they wear because a team like Notts County, who right now it's in what, the third, fourth tier?
Yes.
So they're not a big name. I mean, people know about it, but that's just England because people over there know about all the fucking teams that play in any league. But for a regular football supporter like me, you know, hearing that Juventus wears the colors of Notts County because that's where they got them from, just the same way Barcelona got their colors from Basel, it's amazing.
It is. And let me tell you something else interesting. In 1923, the team was bought by the Agnelli family, which own the teams today as well. And the Agnelli family is the owners of the Fiat, you know, the automobiles. Yep. Yeah. So Juventus was the first team in the world who offer salaries and cars as a present for the football players.
Oh, really?
Yes, because all the players after a great season, I think.
You know when this happened the first time?
In the 1930s, I think.
Oh, that far away?
Yes,
Man,
because this is
only 50 years, not even 50 years, or maybe 50 years after some high school kids decided to establish a team, players were being gifted cars.
Cars and present from, because this guy Agnelli owned the Fiat factory. All the players joining Juventus, they got a brand new Fiat.
Giovanni
plus
Agnelli.
Plus was Edoardo Agnelli in that time.
Yeah, the older.
His father. So in the beginning, the team was made by the workers from the Fiat, because those guys, the students, they have a job on the Fiat factory as well.
Oh, I see. They were probably studying mechanics.
Yeah, but it was a problem in the past because some of the guys they couldn't handle to have a job in a football, professional football, so uh, they decide not to have two jobs in the same time.
And only
Uh,
focus on football.
Only focus football. Well, the king of the Torino was Platini, which everyone knows.
Michel Platini, yep.
Michel Platini. They have lots of great players. Juventus Torino, they have 36 titles in the
In the Serie A.
Serie A. Sorry,
That's more than everybody else, right?
more than everybody else. And they have in the European, they have 2 Champions Leagues and 1 European Cup winner. The last Champions League was in 95-96 when they beat Ajax.
Ajax 3-0, right?
Yes, and in the previous one was in 84-85 when they beat Liverpool.
And the last final was what, 2 seasons ago?
Was the
Against
last,
Barcelona?
No, last final was last season against Real Madrid.
Oh yeah. Was not Atletico Real last season?
No,
Oh,
last
no,
season-
you're right. Yep. Juventus. And was that Barcelona-Juventus before that?
Before that.
Yep. So Juventus are the champions of losing UEFA
The
Champions League
finals.
finals.
The
I've-
finals, yeah.
They lost, since I remember, they lost the finals against AC Milan in 2002, 2003. That's when that was. They lost the final against Barcelona, against Real Madrid.
You know how many finals they lost?
5, I think, right?
15.
But no, I'm just saying European.
European.
I think it's 5. Champions
No.
League, since it's the Champions
No,
League,
yeah,
I think
no.
it's 5.
They have contest 13 European finals. Except the last 2.
Uh-huh.
So it was 15 in totals. They
Jesus.
won 2 and they lost 13.
Imagine somebody who's a Juventus supporter for, I don't know, 60 some years. Their heart must be, they're cold as ice. They don't even react anymore when Juventus lose a final. They're like, yeah, I know. I've seen
That's
this
fine.
20 some times before.
Let me tell you something. It's not funny.
I know it's not. I know. Us Manchester United were not one of the teams who've won all the finals either. So we lost a lot of finals too, especially European ones.
Well, just to mention a few great players they passed by. They played for this team. Was Omar Siviori, Roberto Bettenga, Dino Zoff, Claudio Gentile, Marco Tardelli, Paolo Rossi, Michel Platini, Roberto Baggio, Alessandro Del Pieri, Gianluca Vialli, Didier Deschamps, Zinedine Zidane.
David Trezeguet, Pavel
David Trezeguet.
Nedved,
Yes,
Gigi
I'm just saying.
Buffon, Edgar Davids, man, so many amazing, Filippo Inzaghi, so many amazing players, Fabrizio Ravanelli. I remember Juventus used to be my favorite Italian team, and I still, out of Italy, Juventus are the team that I like the most. It's a very beautiful team.
I know it was a little bit more than 1 minute that we used to say about teams, but it was my favorite team, guys, so sorry for that.
Well, and we call it the 1 minute history, ironically, more because it's always more than 1 minute.
Just because it sounds good.
Yeah.
So yes, I hope you found some new things about what I told you, and I think most of you probably knows about the colors, but not all of you. So that's why we are black and white strips.
Yeah, even me today I'm in black and white. This is one of Manchester United's many years ago third kit. But out of respect for Juventus, I dressed up in black and white. So,
okay.
Are we celebrating anybody this week?
This week we've been celebrating 2 big clubs.
Okay.
Big.
Which ones?
Big. Let's see. First one is on the 16th was AC Milan.
Okay, AC Milan.
That's why I said because I hate them. So yes, 16 this month, AC Milan, 118 years old.
Yep, founded in 1899.
And then the 19 was Borussia Dortmund, and they celebrate 108 years old.
BVB, the beautiful supporters of Dortmund.
So those are the biggest team we celebrate this in the past week. Happy birthday, Dortmund, and
and
even if
AC
I hate,
Milan.
yeah.
Two teams that
Now,
don't have good seasons, but they're still big
yeah,
names, and they're gonna be back someday.
they don't have good season, but they have great supporters, and they have a excellent background and history in the so
They'll be
it's
back.
good to mention. They'll be back.
Okay.
Now, if you don't have anything else to add, I think we should move on the picks of the week.
I agree with that because I think we've covered much. We've covered pretty much everything we wanted to.
Yeah.
So you want to go first? I'm still
Yes,
loading my stuff here.
I have four picks. First of all, sorry for last week, guys. Milan. I can't find a nice word. Milan fucked me. Sorry for saying that.
No, you can.
And
It's a podcast. You can
I
swear.
know, not only me, most of us. No one expect that. I give you 5 games. 4 of them was great, excellent, green light, except AC Milan. This week I have 4 games, which I think really hope will be okay, and we can get some money from the bookmakers because they have enough.
They have too
Uh,
much. So
Too much. So I will start with Arsenal, Liverpool, both teams to score and over 2.5.
yep.
Man City to win. They play at home. And I don't who they play with. I
Bournemouth.
think it's Bournemouth.
Yep.
Then I have Ajax to win. They play at home. They play at home. They play at home with
Is that
who
a
the heck?
Sunday?
It's a Sunday game. That's why I couldn't find.
So they
They
play on
at home.
Christmas Eve.
Yeah, they play with William 2, which is on the 14th place. Ajax in a good form. They should win. And I have another game from a very Alex know I'm a weird person and I like to give tips from all the weird leagues. And it's from Turkish league, and it's Kayserispor, and they will play home against Yeni Malatyaspor. And I think Kayseri, they will definitely gonna win home. They're in a very, very good form. They didn't lost any games in the past 8 games, I think. Even Beşiktaş couldn't beat them home. So you have a very nice odd. I think it's around 4. Good luck. And keep an eye on the page because I will post there more.
And just make sure you, after we finish recording, just make sure you send me these games so I can put them in the pod description so everybody can go and read them. And my turn now. I don't want to apologize, so I don't apologize. But all my my 3 picks from last podcast were wrong. I messed up all 3 of them. None of the games I predicted came through. I said Leicester are gonna score. They didn't. They lost 3-0 at home against West Ham. I predicted Chelsea Newcastle over 1.5. That was wrong too. And then there was another game that I fucked up, which I don't remember. But for this week, I hope I'm going to do better. And I'm going to start with Arsenal against Liverpool. I'm going to go with the same pick as you did. Both teams to score over 2.5. The next game would be Cagliari-Fiorentina. Fiorentina to score. Then West Ham, Newcastle. West Ham not to lose, so win or draw. And Juventus, AC Roma, Juventus to win.
Very good.
So these are my 4 picks. If you guys have enough confidence in these games and you've been following us for a while, you will decide if you want to play these games or not. We've studied them. We follow this every week because we bet as much as possible. And we know how teams are playing. We know how players are doing. But as you see, sometimes even though we have all the data, we can't predict what's going to happen for sure, and sometimes big surprises happen. That's just the beauty of soccer, of football, and we try to make it as good as possible by picking up games that are more predictable than others, but you never know. So good luck
Well,
if you decide
good luck.
to play any of the games you decide. And if you have any suggestions for us, please leave some comments at the episode. Starting this week, our episodes are going to be on YouTube. The YouTube channel is called The Soccer Bowl,
Please.
or the
Yes,
Soccer Bowl podcast.
It's the Soccer Bowl. The Soccer Bowl 17.
But I think the channel is called The Soccer Bowl. I will leave a link in the description, so make sure you subscribe on YouTube. You will have all the pod episodes starting this week on, and it's going to be easier for everybody to access us. Other than that, SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Store, every other place you could find us. Facebook. Just make sure you follow us, subscribe, and keep an eye on our page, because we're going to bring you betting tips, and we're going to bring you some interesting news from time to time, and we're going to bring you our weekly awesome, amazing, the best in the world podcast with Alex from Wisconsin and Andy from Liverpool. It's been a pleasure. We've enjoyed being here with you for another week. Andy, thank you very much for all your input.
Thank you as well, Alex.
We learned a bunch of new stuff, and I hope everybody's happy with how this episode went. Share if you like it, and until next week, sayonara. I will talk to you guys next week, and keep an eye on the TVs or computers wherever you watch your soccer, because there's a lot of games during the holidays, especially in the Premier League, which is the league that never sleeps. So, see you next week.
All right.